All right, we're gonna talk. We're gonna kibish and yeah, I boo baba baba. Like, but I never edit. I see now. Do artists edit their work? And we're gonna talk. We're here talking actually to a well-known artist, Abe Shainberg. He has an art show called Jerusalem, December 13th, 4 West 43rd Street, Suite 416. There's the proof of what I speak from. I'm not sure you could take a photo of that QR
Probably.
code, and you'll learn all about his entire. Now, did you draw what is inside that vase and the
Yes,
vase?
yes. That's just one of my paintings. I've been doing watercolors for the last 20 years. I started in oil after law school, and then I went over to acrylic, and then I stopped painting altogether because I was very busy raising a family, doing the whole thing, and I needed something that you could paint and do it quickly and feel passionate about, and yet it dried, that day. Watercolor dries in a half an hour, so it's fantastic. Yeah, and now they have canvases. So I paint on canvas. That painting was on a canvas that takes watercolor. You can never do that with watercolor. You needed paper.
You mean it absorbs it in essence?
Absorbs it, right? Exactly.
Wow, technology, how it's moved forward.
Yeah,
So,
you're
so
doing it.
you said something. I'm going to be very careful now. Now that you mentioned this lawyer thing, now I have to be careful with every word I say. I can't say your stuff that is not good. I can't say any. What can I say?
You can say whatever you like.
I just
Listen, it's watercolor is a style for people who are like the drama. They like to see like the fluorescence of it, the spontaneity of it. Oil looks much more realistic, and you could do the same thing with watercolor, but you have to work very long at it. Once you like get the concept of watercolor, you feel freer and more natural when you paint. You paint what's in your soul, and it comes out really really beautiful, colorful, dramatic. You could throw colors at it. You can't really do that with oils that much, or even acrylic. But acrylic does have some powerful colors today. I have to say that.
the French Impressionists. Did they do watercolor or did they do acrylic?
They did. I mean, the most famous one you had lately was John Singer Sargent. You had Winslow Homer. You had Hopper. You had many famous ones that also did oil, but their watercolors were gorgeous. But today, watercolor is very hot. It used to be you couldn't sell it at an auction. Today they sell it. I sold last year. I had an auction of my stuff. We sold 20 paintings in one day. So amazing. You know,
Wow,
could
wow,
happen to
wow.
me every day.
So now hey, we want that every day. So like when we start off in the old days, there was a thing called an art class in school. I think the old days are nil now. We don't have I don't think things like home
I
ec.
hope they do. I don't know. I mean,
If they do, they remember
I haven't been in class for a long time.
you get a little like a little container with about 10 different colors, 8 different colors in it.
Right.
And you'd get a little brush that came in the container, and you'd get a little glass of water, and then you get a piece of paper. And then actually, I think people that have started off with watercolors all were very excited
Well,
about
the truth is, you have to draw more with the watercolor. You have to feel freer, and you can't make many mistakes. But once you get into the groove and you learn how to use it, you can go over your mistakes. You can wipe out your mistakes. There's so many ways to deal with watercolor. And I'm in love with color. I'm in love with drama. I'm in love with beauty. And I don't paint anything that's ugly. If it's ugly, I don't know why people want it on the walls. You see some things that grow. I mean, I can't even understand Lucian Freud, who gets $1 million a painting of sick, ugly, straggly looking people. It's sad. It's depressing. You see a lot of Holocaust art. It's not for me. I had many galleries. I had 3 galleries and then a fourth one in New York, actually, in Manhattan. And if it wasn't beautiful, I didn't want it on the walls. I wasn't selling it.
is that the famous Freud? So does Freud
It's
analyze
his
you, Ed?
son or his grandson. Yeah, Lucian Freud. Yeah,
Or maybe they analyzes you in addition to
could
selling you a
be.
painting.
Could be. If you ever saw his work, I mean, he's not the only artist like that. There are quite a few that get very big money, but I guess people, resonate with it or feel for it. I can't. I need to see beauty, even abstract beauty, but it's beautiful. It's pretty. It's something that makes my heart sing. Like your background is beautiful. That could be that it really could. That could be a watercolor. It could be oil. It could be it could even be a pastel. What you have in the background.
And amazingly enough, it's God's gift to the world. It's
Yes,
real
yes.
sunset out in Montauk.
Well, it's
But
funny you said that. Yeah.
tell me a little more about um, this field for you. Are you still practicing law?
Yeah, I'm sitting in my law office right now. I don't come in that often, maybe twice a week. If I have, very few clients now, and it's not like it used to be because mostly I have diamond jewelry people. I also have art and I also have the film people. That's the core of whatever I do. And a lot of times I have nothing to do, like in terms of law. So I paint. I learn Torah. I read.
When you pay, so tell us a little bit. So we have an upcoming show, as I mentioned, on the 13th. Is that open to the public?
It's open to you. It's open to the public if you like art. Yeah.
All right. So now it's called Jerusalem, and why is it called Jerusalem?
Well, I didn't pick that. It was Safira Ventura Gallery is also a 501c3 gallery on the side. They have a regular gallery, and then they have a gallery for bringing in artists from all over the world, poor artists, others. So it's like kind of a UN project. But and in the other hand, it's also a regular gallery. So that night they gave me, since I'm their lawyer and I do their work for free, because I want to help people bring their art here. They gave me a one night show. The Louis Ventura, who's I think his father's Jewish. No, his mother's Jewish, but no, his father's Jewish, not his mother. So he's not really Jewish, but he feels for Jerusalem. He loves it. So he said, "Why don't you do a show just on your Jerusalem?" And I used to go back and forth before COVID to Jerusalem, so I've got like 100 paintings from there, and about 40 of them will be seen on the wall. Not just scenes from Jerusalem, but vases like you saw, people, flowers, just things you find in Jerusalem.
I think I mentioned to you we were at an event for Faranza and her water wells in Afghanistan.
I was there with you. We were sitting at the same
I
table.
know that, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying here. In that, because you and I will go under the nice mensch kinds of guys.
Right.
We're out there, like you're helping nonprofits. I'm doing all I can to promote the good in the world. Um, I mentioned something to you that I said, something I want to do, and you said to me, it's probably good luck, actually, you said, because I want to, my buddies are people I know. Let's put it that way. I knew when they conceived the concept, actually, Jules Fisher, who was a famous lighting director on Broadway, Jules, and Jules was in my building at 126 Fifth Avenue. And Jules, he's the famous, he's won Tony's, all kinds of stuff, and blah blah blah. But you go into Jules' office in those days, and the only light in Jules' office was a regular light bulb from a string. So he wasn't in his own lifestyle, lights
Yeah.
and
Lights, camera, action. I can't see
it
you.
was my little. But him and his partner, Stone, Stone, they conceived of, and we're saying, what are we going to do after 9/11? Okay, this is 9/11 when I'm talking. And one of the concepts that did come up, from making it a park, and somebody came up with, those guys actually in the city came up with lights. All right, these two lights where the Twin Towers were. All right, so that in essence hopefully signifies peace and no more of this, whatever anybody's interpretation is of 9/11.
Right.
And I mentioned to you that we have a desire, and I have a whole program planned to do, because I'm Jewish, I'm an interfaith minister, and I want peace everywhere. And peace in the Middle East used to be actually a chant in this world for fear of not having peace in the Middle
It's
East.
happening. I mean,
And
a little.
it happens and then it doesn't happen. We have it, it's an elastic band, rubber band. So I want to put in the probably most in Jerusalem, and I've never been to Israel. 7 times I was supposed to go.
I can't believe it.
What I was supposed to go with Sid Caesar once. Every
Wow.
time something happened that I didn't go, and then I was thinking of going a couple of weeks ago. I might even go next week. But the point is, I want to put the lights, a peace light in the Temple Mount area, which has also a Muslim has a name to it. Christianity has a name
Absolutely.
to it.
All the religions
All the
congregate.
religions come to this Temple Mount location, and however they call it. So it's a very revered place. Many things have happened, but I want to go forwards. I'm thinking, we had all this destruction. We have We have Hanukkah built around it. Everybody has a religion thinking on it. What do you think about forward motion in life? I mean, you're a
I
what do you think?
knowing the Temple Mount and knowing the old city, which leads into the area of the Temple Mount. You have the Kotel, which is the Wailing Wall. When before you come to it, you have the old city, okay, and you can go from the old city into the Temple Mount, or you can go from the Temple Mount to the old city, which is what I usually do. There's so many places in the old city where all of the religions of the world, not just the top three, congregate, and everybody's got their path. You got the Villa de la Rosa for the Christians. Sometimes it looks like there's more Christians than Jews over there. The last time I was at the Kotel, which 3-4 years ago, there were more Asians at the Kotel than Jews. Believe it or not, people from Africa everywhere. So I would put it in the old city, right in the center, right by the Churva. It's called a Churva synagogue, in that mall, in a sense, that outdoor mall of all the shops and the restaurants, people sitting. That would make more of an impression than getting into a political situation by the Kotel.
Oh my God. You know, I needed a lawyer to tell me politically how to handle these things. Lawyers are very good at compromising and thinking,
I'm
right?
an arbitrator and a mediator, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful, and I'm okay with it. All right, because my
But it
rabbi
would be
told me, don't do it.
appreciated more, Paul. But if you want to do anything in the Temple Mount, there's too much politics going on now in Israel, just between Jews, so little and between men and women. So your great point. If you create some sort of sculpture that could stand there, you could get permission from the mayor of the city. Moshe Leon is very amenable to these things, and I could get you in there probably. And
Okay.
you could do it through the Great Synagogue also.
Our talking right now is a gift for God. Now we gotta do
You got it.
fertig, as they say in the old Yiddish, meaning done. Get it done. All right. Well, we have a lot of peace interests for next year, 2023, and we have I put a hold on the Great Lawn for 9/11 in Central
Yeah.
Park. So then 9/21 for International Day of Peace in Times Square again, and Earth Day and Water Day. It's a bit of a mashug in the world now. What do you think about that? I know we're talking art, but art has some bearing on this. What do you
Art
think?
should bring peace. Art, the beauty of art should bring people together. The love of art. I mean, you have some like Art Expo in New York. You have the same thing down in Miami Beach right now with their Art Expo, and you get a lot of people coming. So there's the art industry, and then there's the art lovers. But if you get past the art, you understand that most artists come from a sense of peace. If their art shows you warlike behavior or vulgarity or whatever, I don't consider that art. I consider that just protest or using your art for political purposes. I think you should step back and just let art speak for itself, and it should evoke peace. It should evoke beauty. It should evoke being together. Some of the greatest American artists did that, like a Winslow Homer, like what's his name that did all the Saturday Evening Post.
Norman Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell. Who's better than Norman Rockwell? By the way, his drawings, his paintings are going. They were 10,000, now they're 100,000, then some are a million. He painted everybody doing everyday things, and he painted all the relations, all the nations, all the races, all the creeds, everybody together. He was a beautiful person. He probably didn't meet too many black people or Jewish people in his life, but he had them in his paintings. And if he'd be living today, he'd have a lot more and all types of genders and all types of whatever. He didn't care about being politically correct. He just was politically correct. He loved people, and that love should come through your art.
He was real. He was real. Tell me, in your show, you say you have 40 plus paintings of pieces of watercolor work that you did in Jerusalem when you were there. Tell us give me 3 examples of what you have.
Well, it says it on the thing exactly. It says people, landscape, floral, and biblical. So I'll start with the last one. I have scenes from the Bible, like Chagall, my favorite artist. I love Monet. I love all the Impressionists, and I love the Modernists. That doesn't mean today's contemporary. I love the Modernists until like the 80s. So I get them. I mean, as I figure it out more, I like even more art. I like all art, but I show scenes from the Bible like Chagall did. And some of the characters in my paintings are Chagallian characters, but it's not the painting that Chagall did. I just conceive of a different painting in the same theme or genre. So that you'll see just people walking in the streets of Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa, whatever, but mostly Jerusalem in this painting. And then sometimes they're just doing Jewish ceremonial things, like shaking a lulav, going to buy food for Shabbos, watching your kids, learning with your kids. So you'll have that kind of Jewish life. And then you just see flowers in vases, whatever. Jerusalem especially loves beautiful flowers. They have gorgeous lilies. They have gorgeous roses that don't look like the ones in America. And I mean, if you look at the pigeons in Jerusalem, which I only have a rooster in the show, but no pigeons here. I painted them. I sold them. They're gorgeous. They look more like doves. They're brown. They're white. They're black. But the shape of them, the elan, the elegance, it's that's why they used to slaughter them in the temple. They're just beautiful. And then you see, of course, landscapes, different streets, different neighborhoods of Jerusalem.
Well, you just reminded me. I have my family, and even myself, Paul Slakis, I have a field in Israel of trees. So my family has been involved with Israel since its inception. My grandfather built the temple in Tarrytown. My aunt was the president of Hadassah. My father was the president of the temple. My mother was the president of B'nai B'rith. My aunt volunteered her entire life, 20 plus years of profession, driving in from Tarrytown to 58th Street to the Hadassah location. So what did they call it? So we always given trees in our entire life. And my aunt was the one that did it for the Hadassah. And so, but when my grandson, I planted 10, 15, 20 trees for him and my granddaughter. Trees were the perfect opportunity. Even if you weren't Jewish, it
sure
cleans up the air.
Karen Kayemet. I mean, people used to come from Israel, just build a tree, plant a tree, this and that. There was a famous movie where they changed the guy's name. Who's coming? The Rabinowitz family quickly changed the plaque to Rabinowitz. It's not the same trees. They built the desert into a beautiful farmland, and they have the best wines in the world. They beat the French every year at all the wine tastings. Only if it's blind wine tasting, so they never vote for Israel. Taste them. They're wonderful vineyards and wineries all over Israel. The Rothschilds and other families brought soil from France actually on ships and replanted them in the Golan and the Galilee and the various Rishon LeZion area, and they have great wine today. They have wonderful fruits, wonderful vegetables. I mean, between them and Turkey, they create everything. And by the way, with all the animosity, sometimes they're the biggest traders with each other in terms of fruits and vegetables and food items. So it's amazing to watch it.
Wow, you got the whole show. Last question: what is peace for you?
Hey, what is peace?
Yeah, what is peace?
People tolerating each other. That's the main thing. Today, unfortunately, you can't even, if you're on the right side, you can't have a conversation with the left. The left can't have a conversation with the right. Everybody thinks they're right and they're good and the other's evil. Just let's listen to each other again. Then you'll have peace in your families and in your world. And I hope we go back to that, because this country was based on that. Democracy is having different opinions and not killing each other over it. And let's start with Congress first. Let's hope that now the Republicans took over. It didn't happen, unfortunately. I'm a Democrat. It didn't happen under the Democrats. Let me see the Republicans try to work something together with the Democrats where we find a middle, where they care about us and not about staying in power. They care about the American people. This is a great time to get a phone. But that's what I think peace is. Peace is tolerating the other that you normally wouldn't. Then we'll have peace.
Best of luck with the show. Best of luck
Thank you.
Life in general. What a great man.
December 13th, the Fever of Ventura, 4 West 43rd Street. Go to the 4th floor. You'll have fun, and there'll be a big book, everything from like $100 to $2,000, mostly in the $200-300 range, very affordable. Take one home, you just on canvases, hang it on a nail. You don't even need to frame it. And some of them are framed also. So thank you, Paul. God bless you.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you.